So today I kind of want to push the boundaries of what the Boss BCB-30X is capable of. This is the smallest pedal board on offering out of the BCB pedal board range. Now obviously my favorite pedal board so far has been the BCB-30X due to it being much larger, having an integrated power supply and all of that type of stuff. If you want to see some videos on it, you can check some out over here. But I think with the BCB-30X having such a small footprint, it's going to be very convenient for my acoustic live looping shows when I'm using my Boss RC-500 loop pedal. So I've got a little bit of a crazy idea when it comes to maximizing the space available. Now for my acoustic live show, I require very minimal effects, but I do require more pedals than what the BCB-30X supports. Obviously I have my Boss RC-500 loop pedal at the center of my setup, but I do also use a Boss OC5 Octave pedal for some bass guitar effects to thicken out and build up my loops. I also need an external foot switch, especially with the RC-500, due to me needing to trigger like all start, all stop commands, clear loop commands, a little bit easier than clicking and holding some of these foot switches, although it is a lot easier than with the Boss RC30. And I do, unfortunately, now need to have a tuner pedal. Now on my old guitar, the Martin LX1E, that had an integrated tuner pedal, so I didn't need to really worry about this as a problem. However, with my new Stratocaster Fender Acoustasonic that's behind me there, I now need a tuner pedal. Obviously, I could use some of the new Boss clip-on tuners like this TU02, which would resolve the issue and perform just as well as this pedal, but I'm going to opt for using the pedal just so I don't feel as bad for buying this pedal and not ever using it. I haven't used this pedal in ages, especially since I've switched over to the GT1000 core and digital amplifier technology. So this is what I hope the final board will look like. As you can see, there is hardly any space between any of these pedals. I've got my tuner pedal where my guitar will connect in. I will then route the audio through to this OC5, and this OC5 will go into the Boss RC500. That will then obviously go out of here into the mixing console, and then I've got this Boss FS7 foot switch that will route directly into the loop pedal over here. Really compact, and believe it or not, I actually think this is going to work. Now you may be wondering, how on earth am I going to route the cables between these pedals without having to come out of the case? Now obviously this is one option that we could opt to choose. However, I'm going to try and leverage the cable management and the foam insert on the BCB-30X to try and hide the cables underneath the pedals. So if we take a look underneath the foam insert, you can see we've got some little cable channels here that we could potentially use. Now, unfortunately, the cable channels sort of end here where your pedals actually sit, and it's more designed for routing around the back. So what I think we may need to do is actually cut our own cable channels into this foam insert that's on the surface area of the pedal board. I think that will probably work the best. So what I think we could do here is, I think we could route a cable channel through the foam going here and coming out and then into the Boss OC5's input right here. Now we have to bear in mind we've got the power connectors that we need clearance for on the back, otherwise we can't power the pedal unless we use the internal battery, which is one option that we could do, but I think that's going to be the best option. Now obviously we are going to use the ability of closing the lid and having this connector plugged in all the time, so we may need to, in transportation, pull it out and actually just hide it under here so we can close the lid if we require that. But me personally, I may just not use the lid when I'm actually transporting this kit. So I've went ahead and added our little cable management channel on our foam insert. Now, if you try and do this at home, obviously be very careful when cutting the foam so you don't accidentally cut yourself. So you can see how this foam insert channel is going to work perfectly on this particular setup. Now I could go ahead and cut out the foam inserts for each of the pedals as I did on my BCB-30X build, but I'm a little bit hesitant to do that due to the pedals being situated so close to one another. I'm a little bit concerned because there's basically no gap in the foam. We're just going to have some loose pedals down here that aren't really being sat properly within the foam. So instead I'm going to opt to use Velcro like I recently did in this video that you can check out on the BCB-30X. In combination with the foam, I think that should work pretty well. So for the best cable management, I'm going to want to create custom length patch cables using the Boss Solderless patch cable kit. Now we've discussed this before here on the channel, and if you want to learn how you can create these cables in detail, check out this video over here. Now when I created this channel, I kept the width of this cable in mind. So this is going to allow us to route this perfectly through and under the Boss OC5, then back out and connect it straight into the pedal. Right, so there we go. We have connected our tuner pedal to our Boss OC5 and it's working really well. I'm pretty pleased with how this has turned out. Now I'm going to go dead simple for connecting the OC5 to my Boss RC-500. I'm just going to use the new Pancake design patch cables from Boss that they recently announced at NAMM. These things are awesome and I've been really impressed with them so far. So that's pretty much it for actually setting up the pedals on the board. Now, when it comes to powering the pedals, I'll probably just opt to use something like a daisy chain power supply cable just for the convenience and simplicity that something like that may provide. Now, the final thing I actually want to share with you is how I'm going to use this external foot switch. I want to show you how I'm going to configure this with the Boss RC-500 so you can get a bit of an idea of how this overall pedal board is going to perform. So for setting up this foot switch, it's super easy. I'm going to head into the memory settings and scroll over to the controller assign. Now inside of here, I can set up a global parameter for foot switch A and a global parameter for foot switch B. Now right now, control pedal 1 is set to track 1 clear. Now control pedal 1 is foot switch B and control pedal 2 is foot switch 2. So that also is doing a track 2 clear on foot switch A. So I want foot switch A to be my play all and stop all command. And I want foot switch B to be my current track clear. So that means whether I have track 1 selected or whether I have track 2 selected, if I click foot switch B, it will trigger that track that is chosen. So we'll set control pedal 1 to be current clear, and we'll set control pedal 2 to be all star. So we'll now go ahead and record a loop on track 1. You can see record plays working perfectly fine. We can stop that loop, start that loop, use our track select foot switch for track 2, record a loop, play that loop, stop that loop, whatever it is you're trying to do. And now we can do an all start, all stop command with foot switch A, perfectly fine. Start both of those loops, perfectly fine. And then likewise, we could trigger our particular track, like track 2 here. We can clear that out with foot switch B, working great. Now, if you're interested in learning more about your Boss RC-505 or other products available from Boss, make sure you check out the link in the video description down below for my product guides. These are full courses that take you through every single setting on your Boss device to help you get the most out of your equipment. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing so you can catch more videos just like this in the future.